I've been doing influencer marketing now for over 9 years, and I constantly get DMs on Instagram, LinkedIn, other platforms asking me, Suhit, how did you get started and how can I start an influencer marketing agency just like you? So today I want to break down my exact journey of how I went about starting my influencer marketing agency and how I would do it if I was starting over again. But before we start this video, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And also you can find in the first link in my description a link to my free influencer marketing Telegram community. In there, I post daily influencer marketing value, tips, and tricks. So it means you don't have to wait until the next video that comes every sort of 7 to 10 days. Okay, let's get into the video. So I wanted to start by just giving you a little bit of backstory about me and how I delved into the influencer marketing space, because I think the context of this conversation is going to be very useful to explain how I started my agency and then how you can go about starting your own agency. So I'm Suhit. I was born in Scotland, as you can tell by my accent. I've been living here all my life, but over the last 3 years, I've been traveling a lot more. I unfortunately don't have any sort of sob story to tell you from my upbringing, right? A lot of these internet, online money type people and online YouTube people kind of talk about how they come from rags to riches, had absolutely nothing, had abusive parents, whatever it is. I had a pretty, honestly, good upbringing. I had 2 parents who were together, healthy family, pretty upper middle class. My parents are doctors. I went to private school. I'm never gonna hide any of that stuff because I feel like a lot of people portray a certain image to lie and kind of make their story sound better, but I really had no issues in life. Things were great and I wanted to follow in my family's footsteps and become a doctor. Now, this all changed at the age of 13 when I discovered online business through gaming. So I was a gamer when I was younger, as most young males are. I was sitting there, I was playing FIFA, Minecraft, CSGO, whatever it was, with a bunch of my mates online. And through that, we decided to start making YouTube content. And it's very different YouTube content to what you're seeing now. I was creating the most cringe gaming videos, animations, all of that good stuff. And through that, I discovered the MCN industry. So what that basically means is that is YouTube multi-channel networks, and what they were, businesses that would partner content creators, sign them up, provide services in return for a portion of AdSense. And throughout my career as a YouTuber, when I was younger, it really wasn't going anywhere. The audio quality was poor, the video quality was poor. It was nothing like what you're seeing on this video right now. And I discovered that actually I would prefer to work on the business and corporate side of YouTube and help other content creators grow instead of doing it myself. So I stopped my YouTube channels and decided to start learning all about how to help other YouTubers grow, how to help them commercialize, and started working and volunteering in a bunch of MCNs and online businesses. And through that period, I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the idea of helping others monetize and helping creators grow, commercialize, because I just couldn't be the one to do it myself. So I was working in an esports gaming radio called Frag Radio. I was doing head of support in Xenia Cloud. Honestly, I did like 12, 13 jobs in the space of 3 years when I was 13 to 16. All of these were generally unpaid. I made very little money. And I think if I look back, I probably made about £2,000 over the span of 3 years between the age of 13 and 16. And that actually came from selling a YouTube channel as opposed to any of the work I was doing, right? So it wasn't a particularly high ROI activity, but looking back on it now, it's paid dividends going forward, getting all that experience. I started applying for jobs at the end of 2017. I was like, all right, I want to start actually getting paid for what I'm doing. And I applied to a job at a company called ESL, which is the world's biggest esports company. Shout out to a guy called Benedict Krause. He took a chance on me. He's the vice president of the ESL video network. He said to me, look, Suhit, we don't usually do this, but I see a lot of passion and ambition in you, and I want to give you a shot. I want to bring you on as a 16-year-old. So I was working for ESL during my 5th year of high school, and I'm balancing my Scottish hires, balancing trying to live a social life, and then also working for ESL. And I started getting paid €800 a month, so about £650, I think. So that's what I was doing, right? I was on a contract there, getting £650 a month at the age of 16. And for me at that point, this was incredible. Like, what other 16-year-olds in my year at school were getting 650 quid a month to do what they loved and learn? And this is unfortunately though where the turning point came in my life, right? Obviously everything's going well here, £650 a month, working at ESL, working with the biggest content creators, learning from a very established business. But 1 month into that job, I unfortunately got cancer. And if you know my story already, you'll know all about this. But for new viewers to the channel who are just discovering me, unfortunately in February 2018, I was diagnosed with a cancer called stage 2A Hodgkin's lymphoma, which essentially is a cancer of the lymphatic system, which is connected to the immune system. What that meant is I had to undergo 6 months of chemotherapy from March 2018 to August 2018, whilst I was around 16 and 17 years old. And this was crazy. I think anyone who gets cancer realizes how crazy a situation it is, but I was 16 years old, lived a healthy life. I wasn't exposed to anything bad in my life. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, didn't do anything really. And I all of a sudden was diagnosed with cancer. So it was a huge turning point point and absolutely pivotal in my life. And looking back on it now, and I'm about to kind of explain why, I actually am very grateful for what happened. And you may be thinking at this point, like, you're crazy, you got cancer, why are you grateful for that? But you're gonna understand that in a second. But really, cancer for me was an inflection point in my life. It changed my perspective and made me realize that actually life is short and it can be taken away from you at any point. You might be sitting here watching this video right now thinking, I'm 18, I'm 20, I'm 24, whatever it is, I've got another 60 years of my life, I'm gonna just enjoy my life. And whilst that's true, and you should take every day as it comes, life can just be taken away from you at the blink of an eye, right? And for me, I was facing mortality at the age of 16. I could have died. And that shifted a perspective in my head and made me realize if I want to achieve anything in my life, I have to do it right away and I can't just wait about it. I have to start taking action. So it changed my perspective and I started following my dreams, and I decided during that process, fighting chemotherapy, I would quit my job at ESL, I would still do my Scottish Highers, I'd still go to school, but I would launch my own business. And from there, in July 2018, I decided to launch Saulderson Media, which is my agency still to this day, and we're now, the time we're recording this video, 5.5 years old, which is absolutely crazy. Okay, so from there, I started Saulderson one day after leaving ESL. So I think I left ESL on June 30th or 31st or whatever the date is, and I started Saulderson on the 1st of July 2018. I essentially did this by taking those years of learnings that I had from working in the space from the age of 13 to 17. So 4 years of learning where I wasn't paid anything really, and the maximum I made on a monthly basis was £650. I took those years of learning and also the creators that I was working with at ESL over to the business. At the start of the company, it was just a talent management company for a few CSGO content creators. I was basically, all I was doing was really being a glorified middleman, right? I was just negotiating inbound deals and outbound opportunities for my roster of talents. And I essentially then met an esports lawyer who helped me properly set up the business and start running things properly and being less of just sort of like a young kid trying to be a glorified middleman. And I started to actually establish this business as a proper brand and got it all set up and got all my contracts and everything set up. I started getting some deals in with these talent I was managing and then started onboarding and pitching to other talent. I was going super aggressive, like all I was doing because I had cancer, like I had so much time, I was just sitting in the cancer ward most of the time. I was just sitting there trying to build this business, going aggressive on building a company, reaching out to brands, reaching out to influencers, just cold emailing, cold DMing. And I was looking back the other day actually at some of the scripts I was using in 2018 and I realized why my reply rate was so low because from learning from that, but that's a different story anyway. And I was just basically cold pitching my service and trying to get referrals from creators that I was working with. Quickly, some of these inbound brands were wanting to work with more creators than we could. So we basically started expanding to non-exclusive roster and pitching tons of other creators. And at the start, I was just really working with creators I knew, agencies like ESL and others that I knew, and inbound brands and outbound brands via LinkedIn. There wasn't really too much more to it. It was just kind of like using what I already knew. But from here, I started aggressively reaching out to other companies that were relevant to me. I started seeing if I could find and throw up any LinkedIn conversations. And I ran a lot of the stuff through Twitter in the early days, given the gaming space, and was managing influencer conversations and campaigns there. And really at this point, I was just a really hungry team, just trying to do deals and just make some money. And over 2018, things got really, really busy. So I actually brought on a hire within 6 months of running a business. And this has gone from like someone who was making £650 a month to hiring their first member staff within 6 months. And with myself and him, we generated over £100,000 in revenue within our first 6 months. So that was me running the business solo for 5 months and then him coming on in that last month in December, literally about 5 years ago to this day of me filming this video, and we generated £100,000 a month. And this is me at 17 years old after trying and testing and learning things for the last 4 years. And at that point, I realized like all those times of me just getting experience has now just paid dividends because I've now turned over 100K in 6 months. And that's what one of the lessons I want to touch on later is getting that experience and just doing things and going out into the real world and working for free, giving value, portraying, who you are before asking for the money can really pay long term because you can gain that experience and then you can charge longer term, right? Now to this day, we charge in my business an hourly rate for me at £450, right? That's £450 an hour that we charge out to clients. And a lot of people think like, look, Sue, you're 22, you've been running your business for this amount of time. Is that not a lot of money? But this has come from, generating 9 years of experience before. And that's because I've done all of these times and trials of learning things over the last 4 years. Then over 2019, we brought on a second team member and started really scaling up the business and becoming less of just a purely talent management company and trying to venture into running full-scale influencer marketing services for brands. We brought on an influencer marketing platform and really started aggressively pitching that side of the service and trying to scale that part of the company. And over the next few years, we continually just improved our services and kept expanding and offering more, and we were able to onboard clients like Acer, Asus, AV InBev, huge household names that you would never think, and I would never think that 18 and 19-year-old, I think at the point, would be able to work with and run huge scale influencer marketing campaigns for, and also be paid 6 figures in budget to run as well, which is incredible. By the end of 2020, and about 2.5 years on from starting, we had turned over 1 million GBP in revenue. This was a huge milestone for us because I can officially say that we became a 7-figure business. And we'd also then, at this point as well, built a team of 5 people. So I'm here with a 7-figure business and I'm responsible for 5 people. I think I was 19 years old actually at this point. I have like all of this going for me, which is incredible, and have this responsibility. It just felt like an absolute dream had come true. The opportunities just didn't stop. In 2021, we got an opportunity to work with Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, and Stuart Broad, who are 3 of the world's most famous cricketers. We built a brand for them. We helped them build their gaming brand out. And we just continually kept on building and growing. And overall, up into this year, to fast forward, we've run campaigns with huge household names like Tim Hortons, Netflix, Sandbox VR, done huge experiential events. I was out in LA a few months ago running an in-person event with Netflix. It's been an actually incredible ride, and we've been able to just grow and scale so much. And next year, leading forward, I've now brought in an operations manager and 2 consultants to help us really take us to that next level of growth and bring on more of our clients onto retainer basis, so we know we're getting that guaranteed income coming in every single month, and we have got a really clear projection of the goals we want to get to next year, the revenue goals, the team goals, and obviously underlying profit goals as well. Overall, we've got a super bright future, and I'm really excited to take the business forward and ultimately exit at some point for multiple 8 figures like many other influencer marketing agencies have done in the past few months. And whilst I say all of these incredible things that have happened with the agency over the last 5.5 years, just like everyone and what people won't show you online, we've obviously had our fair share of ups and downs. And this last year specifically has been incredibly tough to grow and scale because there's been tons of layoffs in the space. The industry that we are in, gaming, has had lots of like budgets being cut, and a lot of influencer marketing agencies have actually been going redundant, and that is really just due to poor leadership and cash flow issues. Luckily, we have a good strategy and plan in place, so I don't see any of this happening for us, and I'm looking forward to 5 more years of really impressive and aggressive growth. Now, that's a quick summary about me, how I started my agency, and I want to quickly now divert into, if you are in a position watching this video and you're watching my content and you're interested to potentially start in influencer marketing, start an agency, or just even interested in exploring the potential of it, I want to discuss about what I would do in this day and age if I was to start an influencer marketing agency in this ecosystem, because there are a few considerations. Now, it's most definitely not as easy just to start and scale by yourself with little experience super quickly. Obviously, I've touched on in the video that I, before starting my agency, actually had 4 years worth of experience. So a lot of people who are just wanting to start a business without getting that experience, it's going to be very difficult. The industry, obviously, comparative to when I started back in 2018, like any industry, is far more saturated. So you need to do it right and just not be the same as everyone. You need to come to the market with some sort of unique value proposition. And there are some exact strategies to follow. Brands are slowly taking influencer marketing in-house, and the economy, as I mentioned previously, has been poor, which means that less advertising spend this year and a lot of agencies have gone bust. But this comes with a huge opportunity as well. The influencer marketing spend as a percentage of total advertising spend is still tiny, and there's so much opportunity to grow. It'll be $100 billion industry in the next 10 years, and these agencies going bust is just teaching the market how not to make these mistakes and letting the good agencies really flourish. If you want to start now, you need to very quickly be able to get yourself in a position where you can understand and manage data. I can actually show real metrics to brands to understand their marketing spend. I need to be creative and produce ads that your audience will actually want to watch and enjoy. If you can merge creative strategy and data, you have a winning combo, and that is really the key to success with influencer marketing in 2024. Now, there are 2 main ways to actually start, and this applies for all business models, but specifically influencer marketing. As I said with me previously, I would suggest going and getting real experience in a big agency, just the way that I did with ESL. These big agencies run the show and have a lot of secret intelligence and learnings to offer you on how you can actually run campaigns and make a tangible impact to brands. Go and work in one for a while, just like I did, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, a year, 6 years, whatever it is, whatever that time span it is, or even volunteer, work for free, and you'll learn as much as you can, and then you can go ahead and start. The value of going ahead and getting experience and just taking that and learning is so powerful. As I've told you, I worked for free for 4 years basically, and now we have generated multi-millions. Work for 4 years to have the potential upside of that is a no-brainer in my opinion, right? But you don't even have to spend 4 years, right? You can spend 6 months, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. Or the second option that you can go down is buying information from someone else to fast track it yourself. Get get mentorship, get coaching, get a course, whatever it is. Buy the information to make a 100K influencer marketing agency for a few thousand. It pays back unlimited ROI. If you can spend 3K or 2K, whatever it is, on a mentorship or a course or learning from someone like we do, as I say, we pay a consultant a monthly retainer, and then you can make 100K off of that. That's like 33 times ROI, right? It's a no-brainer really at that point. It's just taking that first step to invest a little bit. And now, depending on when this video has gone live, you'll likely also see in my channel a video from someone that I personally mentor and have been mentoring over the last 2 years, Aditya, and how he's learned a huge amount from me and taken his agency to now landing multiple six-figure budgets from brands. So just to summarize, the two things that I would definitely say are go ahead and get experience, and this takes much longer, or buy the information from someone else who's been there and done that and is in the position that you want to get to, and have them mentor you or coach you in whatever form that is. And that's it. That's how I started my influencer marketing agency, and how you can do the same in 2024. Hopefully this video gave you a transparent insight into my 9 years of entrepreneurship and how long the journey can take, but the ways that you can go ahead and learn and get into this space and also ultimately cut it down. Now, before we end this video, I would really appreciate if you could drop a like and subscribe, and also comment. Tell me what you learned about this video. Tell me what you learned about influencer marketing and any questions that you might have. As I say, in the first link in the description, you can go ahead and join my free Telegram community where you can get daily influencer marketing value. We post tips and tricks on influencer marketing, loads of free stuff going there, and you can really fast track your journey in the space. And we also even post job opportunities and hire directly from that Telegram. So make sure you go ahead and join that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.